Hello, welcome to Pragmatic Training. In this short video, I'll show you how to build a test plan from scratch and learn how things works and adding elements and all in JMeter. So what are we going to cover in this short video? Adding elements with different options available. So they will be very useful for the beginners when they are working with JMeter to improve their productivity. Then we'll see how to remove the elements from existing test plan. Also a useful feature when you are working with test plan, disabling and enabling elements rather than just removing. Then saving elements, not test plan, saving as just an element or an element and child element associated with the element. Saving elements, saving the test plan. Then we'll cover running a test plan or a thread group, stopping a test, how to stop a test, and error reporting. We'll see how errors are recorded or logged in JMeter so that you can understand the error and later fix the error and run the test plan again. So let's move into the practicals. In this short video, what I'll do, I will build a test plan accessing JMeter Apache org site, the official website of JMeter, and then go to release notes and best practices. So these URLs. So it's pretty simple and no session management involved. You can just do the I have started my JMeter. Let's start with a new test plan, and you can go from here, Control L or Command L on Mac. So I'm not going to save. So you will get a test plan component here. The first thing that you have to do is in any test plan is adding a thread group to simulate the virtual users. Okay, once this is done, I will have this basic configuration now. Later we can manipulate. All the configurations can be done here for the thread group. Say for example, if you want to simulate 5 users and ramp up period is 10, that means the 5 users will be created in 10 seconds. That means every 2 seconds a new user is created. And if they want to send say 10 requests or 10 loop, so there will be 10 iterations and you will have 50 iteration altogether since we have 5 users. So let's see how to add elements. One option is right click and use this add option and samplers to simulate use accessing the web servers using HTTP or HTTPS. You can use this. Also there is option command or there are other shortcut keys available to add the element. For example, if you want to add a thread group, you can use Control 0 or Command 0 on without using the menu. You can do that. Also, they are available in if you go to test plan and add non-test element property display, you get all the elements available. So these are the shortcuts, and you can refer to them or you can just try out them. If you want to chain them, also it's possible. For example, you can see I have chained them. and they are available on runtime also. For example, if I want to add different or move them around, you can do them, change the value here, and they are immediately effective. So let's focus on adding HTTP request. So it's control1 or command1 can be used to add the request. So first one is, it's best practice to keep this element. It's my own best practice where I keep this default value so that it's much readable. Accessing home page, and you have defined here this server name and the protocol, also a port, and the method can be defined, and the path can be defined, the relative path with respect to the domain name. And also you can define the parameters here. Say if you are sending body data like what you call JSON request, you can include the XML data and all. If you are sending as parameters then name value pairs, you can define them here. This will be useful when you are uploading files to the system, which we are not going to cover in this short video. And within the advanced option, you can define IP host and all. Say this will be useful for IP spooling, and you can simulate a request coming from different sources. And also you can send the timeout values, and client implementation default is HTTP client 4, so we'll leave it as it is. Okay, now I want to have accessing the home page, and the home page is this, and copy this and remove this. JMeter will build the URL, and it is HTTP, but you don't have to define it because it is the default one. If you want to define, it's fine, but if it is HTTPS, you have to define it here. So let's add a listener and see the effect whether it's working. So it's a best practice, and let's save the test plan now. So I have created a good directory structure to organize my project. So all the test plans will go here, all the test reports will be saved here, and test results results are the raw test output, and reports are the organized manipulated test results. And let's save into test plans. I have a naming convention, my own test plan, so that anybody will know this is a test plan, and the project JMeter underscore some description about what we are doing. Browse the website, and you can give the .jmx, or you can just avoid it because all the files will be saved in .jmx format. Let's run and see whether it's working. To have you need to ensure that your internet is you are connected to internet and it's working before running any test. And say you can run this as well. If you are running this, all 5 users will be, or the rather threads will be created, and they run for 10. But here the purpose is to just to validate my script, so you can use right click this the thread group and select this option, validate. So it is showing the results. So if you see the view result tree, and select this element, the result, and you can see the request. So you can see it is created, the get request, and the URL is created by JMeter. And in the response data, you can have different format. It is in text format. If you want to see the result in, you can use HTML, and you can see HTML view. And JMeter is not, this is not a browser, but you can have a feeling of the output. For example, JavaScript will not be executed in the client side as in standard web browser. So let's keep on building the test plan and add more elements. So I want to add another request here, and the second one is, you can drag and drop here and change this, and this time I want to go to the release notes. So the change here will be the slash changes, the relative path. I copy that and go here and add into the path. Okay, and so accessing the release note page. Okay, now as we add more elements, you have to define it here again and again. So there is a nice feature available with JMeter that's called config element HTTP request defaults. All the elements which are frequently used by JMeter testers are listed here, and they will appear in the top. Actually, they are not in all the items in the menu are not sorted in alphabetical order, but in the way that they are used, frequently used ones are listed in the top. So let me add the default one. So let me group it in the top so it's more readable. Even though it's in the bottom, it is executed first, JMeter, as that's the scoping rule. And let me copy this, cut it, and paste it here. So all the HTTP requests will get the values from default if they are defined. For example, the service defined here, when this is blank, it will get the value from this one. If it is defined here, it will get from the sample itself. Since we are going to the same one, I'll remove this as well. So it will be easy to build. And also if you want to switch into different environment, the test application, say from test, dev, pre-production, staging environment, then to production, then you can change the server name here by just changing the configuration in one location. You can switch from one environment to another. Okay, let me add the final request. Drag and drop here. So this will be changed and accessing the best practices page. So let me get the relative URL. If I go to the best practices, and this is the one, the relative path. Let me add that. So in this case, all server names will be taken from the HTTP default. Let me validate and see how it's working. home page, of course, we checked last time as well. In the changes page and best practices. Okay, so let's I check these things manually. So if I want to check them, I mean, if I want JMeter to do that, I can do that using assertions. Add assertions, response assertion. You can add, you can copy Control C and Control V. Also, you can use the shortcut. Let me check what is the assertion. GUI is command 5 in my case, so I can Control 5 and add the assertions. Likewise, you can add the elements here. So this case, I'll just check what I need to check in the, what can I do with it. So I'll add this, ensure that it is in text transfer. What can, so you can use this search. So let me copy this and in the response assertion I click add. Can have this. I will remove this because the question is a special character for the moment to avoid more complexity. So the second one is when you go to the changes, the title is changes and the release notes. Let me check this text. Likewise, you can do the assertions. I will remove this. You can remove by clicking remove, selecting the menu item from the context menu or delete key, but on Mac delete key is not working, and also you can just disable it if you want to, or toggle it, Control T or Command T on Mac. This can be used. So if you want to see the assertions in a listener, you can assertion listener can be, assertion result can be used. So let's validate, and if you want to get rid of these results, you can clear this, only this listener, or if you want to get rid of all these things, you can use this clear all. So use clear all. And let me validate again, right click and validate, and you can see no issues. Let me deliberately add a failure condition, assertion failures, and see how it works. Let me Control E and Control R so that you will see. So you will see something like this. And this time I'm running all these things. So if I want to stop it, you can click here. And you can see there here. So if I want to clear again, use this. So with this, you know how to add element assertions like that. So if you want to introduce a think time in between, you can use timers, or there is another option called add think time to children. Likewise, so this will ensure that so this is more readable than adding a child element to the time as a child element. So here you get a delay in between. The default is constant delay, it's 1 second, and likewise you can change it here as well. So there will be think time in between the request. and here after the request. So this will be more useful, and save it. And also say if you want to repeat these things, say these two further, you can add insert parent logical control like loop control in every iteration. So this will be, so you select this, maybe you can say 2, likewise it will be executed. So let's see the effect, and control E to clean it and just to validate rather than running it. So likewise you can see that this is failing because we made it a failure, and this time let me remove it and save it, clean it and validate it. Looks like it is not, still trying to see this one. With the field, the changes are not effective. Control E, clean it, and right click and validate. Now it's okay. So there could be some situation like that in JMeter. So ensure that you validate the test script before running it, or rather get a fresh environment. Sometimes the restart JMeter, this you may have to do it. Ensure that your test script is working before running with the actual or the actual test configuration, like for example number of users 5 and 10 in this case. How to run the test plan? Say there are a number of options. You can click here to start the test plan, or go to run menu and start. Also you have command R or control R to run the test, and these options available for the distributed testing. We'll discuss them later when we discuss about distributed testing. And when the test is running in this like this, and you can use this to stop the test plan. Clear. And when it's running, shut down. Shutdown will stop the test immediately, ignoring the processing in progress. It will abruptly discontinue. So if you want to save something and reuse it, let me remove this test, and specific components. I am interested in this test plan, and you can save only this selection. Save the selection as a thread group JMeter and save it. You can save a specific component that is useful as a building block, and you can then later merge like this, and it's available here. And if you want to see the errors, you can click on this and see all the logs you can see from here, and you can resize the windows or the panes here. So for example, let me simulate error. In this case, say my request going to www.test2352.com, which is not available. And when you are working with one thread group, say thread group 1, thread group 2, and so always a good practice to disable it rather than sending it. Control T and validate it. So you get error like this, and also you should get that error here as well in the log. All the errors will be highlighted with red color. When you're stopping test plan when it's running, and you can use control dot or command dot in when it's running, and when you have stuck with the GUI, you can use that shortcut key. And the final option you have is to kill the process if it is not working. And right. Okay, thanks for watching. We have covered adding element, building a test plan, removing elements, disabling elements, saving the element with associated child elements, then running a test plan, viewing the test results a little bit, and enabling, disabling elements. Also, we looked into the error view. Also, this can be saved temporarily, like rather clear it using this as well. Okay, hope